Hello. So this is a vocal warm-up daily workout. This is going to be a longer version of it. I'm going to explain every step of it along the way. And I will hopefully be making a shorter version of it so that once you've done this guided warm-up with the explanations in it a few times, you'll be able to go to the other one and it will be a little bit quicker and you won't have to listen to me explaining everything every time. This is just a daily workout that's really good for the voice and for the body. So let's just do it. I'm sure I'll be introducing it in other ways. So let's just get right into it. So first thing, let's align and center. So as you know, feet are hip width apart, toes are pointing forward. This is the best video, so you can't see my feet, but make sure your feet are only hip width apart. Check in with your hip bones. Make sure that your ankles are under your hip bones. We frequently want to step too wide and think that we are hip width apart. The reason we want to be only hip width apart with the toes pointing forward is so we're not engaging the leg muscles in ways that we don't need to. So let's think about our alignment. Think about the top of the spine, which is in between the ears. I want you to think of forward and up position with the head. Forward and up does not mean jutting forward, does not mean this. Perhaps you might want to think of an angle. The skull resting on top of the spine, and the spine is in between the ears. So think about some freedom there in between the ears. Allow that spot where the skull meets the spine to be nice and loose. So relax that spot. If you feel like it creates some more space in the back of your neck, that probably means you're on the right track. So let the skull rest very easily on the tippy top of the spine. And let the spine be nice and long. We're not forcing it into a soldier position. We're allowing the spine to be long. What we are doing is more often not doing something as opposed to doing something. So we want to release the tension through our bodies. We want to allow those small supporting muscles to turn on, and we want to turn off those large muscles that we use to move ourselves around the world. It's those muscles that are big and strong that actually have nerve endings, and we can feel things happening. So those tiny muscles that we want to use that are weaving in and out of our spine and all over our body that help us hold ourselves in alignment, they don't actually have nerve endings, so you can't feel them. So it might feel like you're not doing anything, and if that's the case, you're on the right track. So let the skull to rest on top of the tippy top of the spine, forward and up, nice and easy. Allow the spine to be nice and long. Check in with the lower back and the big hip muscles in the back. Check in with the hip creases. If you were to pick up your leg and put your hand there in that crux, that's where your hip crease is. So relax that hip crease. Allow your thigh bones to support you and release your thigh muscles. So again, check in with the head-spine relationship. And when you watch the other video that will be shorter, when I say check in with the head-spine relationship, that's this easy spot of ease where the tip top of the spine hits the skull. So check in with there, check in with the thigh bones, let your skeleton support you and relax all your muscles. Just because your muscles are relaxed doesn't mean that you cave. It means that you're allowing the spine to be nice and long and go up towards the heavens. So let's think about a figure 8. You're going to relax the chest just a little bit. Not so much that you're caving, but what we want to avoid is this sort of holding the chest open sensation. So easy with the chest. Take your attention around to your lower back. From the point where the bottom of your rib cage connects with your spine, elongate that part of your body and allow that part of your body to grow down towards the floor. Elongate the spine, the lower part of the spine of the back. And if you feel like your butt muscles are becoming part of your leg muscles, that's a wonderful sensation. Allow the butt to be nice and long and low and grow towards the ground. So we're talking about a figure 8 here, relaxing the chest, long lower back. Scan around to the abdomen and allow there to just be a thought of support, a thought of energy from the front of the pubic bone back to that same spot, the bottom of the rib cage where it connects to the spine. Just a little bit of energy there. It's not clenching it, it's just thinking a little bit of support there. And then take your attention around to your upper back. Allow those big, strong lat muscles to grow out towards the sides. Allow the shoulder blades to be nice and easy and resting against the back. So here's where we are in this nice, beautiful, elongated, tension-free posture. Think about allowing the collarbones to sink into the torso. Allow the shoulders to relax. Imagine for a moment that somebody is taking a hand and just encouraging your collarbone to go out to the side, and they're doing the same thing on the back. It's hard to do this to myself, allowing the shoulder blades to go out to the side. So all this, think of this nice long ease that takes the shoulders a little bit out towards the sides. It's not like, but it's just simply relaxation into some length. Think about the entire half of the back, the entire back of your body, from your heels all the way up to your wisdom knot, to this spot on your head. Just for a moment, take your attention there and allow that to be nice and long. Think about this one big plane of connection from your heels to your head. Let that be nice and easy. So I've thrown out a lot of ideas there. I want you just to sink into them for a moment and take a few deep breaths. Think of that figure 8, relaxed chest, long lower back, a little bit of support in the abdomen, wide upper back. And breathe into that. Allow your thigh bones to support you. A little bit of ease forward and up with the head. So just close your eyes and take your attention inward. I'm not doing anything because you're closing your eyes. So close your eyes, your attention is inward. Just for a few breaths, observe what's going on in the breath right now. Just check in with where you are today. You are not doing anything wrong. Everything you're doing is perfect in this moment in time. Just trust it. Just observe what's happening when you breathe. What part of your chest moves? How about your abdomen? Can you feel some sensation in your lower back when you breathe? Are you sensing that your collarbones are responding to the breath? All of it is beautiful, and all of it is exactly what it needs to be right now. So just trust it, relax it. Don't feel like you have to fix anything because nothing is wrong. Now see if you can allow the breath to move a little bit lower. I want you to breathe into the lowest part of your torso. I want you to breathe all the way down to your butt. That's where it's going. Low, low, all the way down to the lowest part of the middle of your torso. Breathing into your sphincter. Relax it and let it be nice and easy. Allow the whole torso to respond to the breath. Now we're going to go into our first spinal roll. Hope you've watched the other video I made about how to do a spinal roll. So releasing from the tip top of the spine, rolling all the way down. Keep the breath nice and dynamic and easy. And hang out at the bottom when you finally get there. You can shake it out. You can crack your knees. You can do whatever you need to do. Hang out here for quite a bit. I might come up, but that doesn't mean you have to. And you can always pause this video and concentrate on specific parts. So, feel the breath in the back of the bottom of the rib cage. You don't have to put your hands here, but maybe you do. Feel that breath here. Allow the bottom of the rib cage, the back of the bottom of the rib cage, to open up like ladybug wings. I love this posture. Nice big breath. Let all the tension drain out of your head and hands, and then roll up one vertebrae at a time. As we know, the shoulders stay out of it, and the head is the very last thing that comes up. So now let's roll down on 4 pitches. A ha-ha, a simple touch of sound, a ha-ha. 4 pitches, low to high, high to low. So ha-ha, 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 ha-ha. You don't have to be my exact pitch. You might have a lower or a higher voice than me, whatever, just play with it. Now high to low. Ha-ha, ha-ha. I will add that the ha-has I just made are probably really too loud. I'm used to doing this very loud in a classroom setting where everybody can hear me. But if your touch of sound is simply, that's beautiful. That's all it needs to be. Now the same thing, 4 pitches, low to high, high to low. You're going to go ha-hum-ma. And it's kind of a 3-part of ha-ha, where you're engaging some nice, beautiful support with the sound. Really feel that vibration all in the face, along the front of the face, and down in the mouth, and then release it into a beautiful ha. So it's 4 pitches. Ha-hum-ma. 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 Indulge in a nice, big, beautiful breath down here. Ha-hum-ma. 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 Very nice. I'm going to check my cheat sheets. Okay, so from here, just simply head rolls. Now we're just going to just wake the body up a little bit. We've aligned ourselves. We've hopefully released some tension. Now we're just going to roll and hum. Please avoid what I'm about to do. Do not go all the way to the back. Don't take your head. There's a point where you're rolling. There's sort of, if you lifted up your shoulder, there'd be an ear to the shoulder. You can go a little bit further back from there. You can actually elongate and feel that beautiful stretch. I feel it from my ear down to my fingertips. Big stretch. And roll again. Remember, you can pause this video at any point if you want to indulge in any one of these moves a little bit longer. Fast forward it, whatever you want to do. And rolling around. Throw some hum underneath that roll. Keep rolling while I look at what's next on our list. Yeah, so now let's reach up to the heavens with one side of the body. Let your foot go all the way down into the middle of the earth and reach your hand up towards the stars. And feel that spot here, the spot between the bottom of the rib cage and the hip. Breathe into that spot. You're stretching out that part of the body, creating some length, creating some ease. It's not about force, just relax into it. And the other side, big stretch up. Keep hanging out here while I look at what's next. Big stretch. Good. So let's sustain a nice long S. It's a hiss. You're going to blow out all the air, and you're going to sustain a S for as long as you can. But when you do this, I want you to, let's think about the diaphragm for a moment. As you know, the diaphragm is the muscle that goes all along the bottom of the rib cage. My rib cage is here to here, the bottom of the rib cage. So when my diaphragm goes down, it sort of goes down in a diagonal, which might make your belly pooch out. But we want to encourage the lower back to be involved in that breath. See if you can just, inhale, allow that breath to go into the lower back. And so now we're going to do the sustained S, but when we do, we're going to encourage the diaphragm to stay nice and low the entire time. So just take a big breath all the way down to the butt, and then send out that S. Keep going while I talk. Imagine that diaphragm stays nice and low. We don't want to grip with the diaphragm. We want to keep it as low as possible. And very important, before you run out of air, stop the S. At the end of the S, you don't necessarily want to use the throat that way to make that sound, but I did that so you could hear it. At the end of the S, you want to still have some breath left. That conditions our body to stop speaking before we run out of air. So let's do another one together. Nice, low, easy breath. In through the nose or the mouth, all the way down to the butt, and sustained S. Diaphragm stays low, expanded. And at the end, have some breath, still make an exhale. So that's our head rolls, our stage. Now let's roll and shake. 3 breaths, rolling and shaking. 1 shake with the knee, 1 shake with the shoulder, and 1 shake with the jump. So, again. And 1 jump. And just shake it out, shake out lots of breath. Wake up the face. Make some big, ugly, weird faces. Big open face. Open your brain. Open your eyes. Send some sound up into your brain. Choose some sound. What's next? We're still waking up the face. Send some sound into the nose. And then, into the nose, A to the cheeks. Here we go. And all the way down to the lower back this time. Cool. All right. A little tongue stretch. I'm going to change the angle of this so you can maybe see me a little bit more. Little tonguey stretch. Big yawn, big sound. Relax that tongue, relax your jaw. Open up the soft palate. So, let the jaw be nice and long and easy. Very nice. Just check in with the jaw. Give the jaw some love today. Nice and easy rubs. I like to rub my neck sometimes when I rub my jaw. That spot under the ear, maybe you can check in with that today. Easy, easy jaw. Now let's just play with some vowels. Just some he. Think about where all the vowels want to live. He. So we're going to go E-A-O. The vowels migrate from the front of the face to the back. So E is way in the front, A is in the middle, A is a little bit further back, and then O, and then Oo is way in the back. So you want to honor that place where they live because that's where the resonance is easiest and freest and we can get the best sound. But the further we can keep that sound forward, the more we can keep the sound forward in the face, the easier the resonance will be because this is where our bony, hard structures are. So let's start with E. E likes to live in the nose, so let it go there. E, E, E. This is not about creating a lot of volume right now. We're just creating a lot of resonance. So, E. I'm obviously not moving around a lot because you won't be able to see me. If you have a space where you can move around and while you're doing this, go for it. So, E, and then hey. See if you can keep that hey, as forward in the face as the E is. Hey. One trick is to put the hands in front of the face and send that A into the hands. Hey. That creates a sensation, creates an image, and it creates a physical sensation in your body where the sound comes forward because you're sending it forward. So, hey. Hey, while we're doing this, just check in with your alignment again. Make sure that your hips are nice and released. Your head-spine relationship is easy. Hee, hey, and then a ha. Ha's easy. Ha. Should feel like a yawn. Ha. Ha. Now see if you can allow it to be a little bit more forward. Ha. Ha. And if you did make a difference there, identify what difference just happened. Why was it easier? What changed about it? Oh, and then out from an ah to an o. Oh, it's a little bit difficult to keep that O really forward. So, ooh, ooh, ooh. Who really likes falsetto headed voice? Ooh, just easy sound. Ooh. So let's melt from one vowel to the next. Check back in with the alignment. Keep your body nice and easy. Relax your shoulders. Relax your head-spine relationship. Do it again. Play with pitch. When I'm doing it in this classroom, I'm always saying play with pitch because we tend to want to speak too low in our voice. You do want to develop your lower registers, but most importantly, the higher registers. That's where all the resonance is. You could do a whole warm-up just on those vowels. So where were we? Just okay, we did that. Yeah, now just move around and wake the body up a little bit. So big stretch. Let's do some big deep knee bends. I'm gonna have to move this again. So at the bottom, you're gonna bounce and you're gonna give me a supported sound. So big wide stance. Inhale up, and at the bottom, ha, ha. Just wake the whole body up like this. Ha, ha. Stretch to one side. This is kind of like a triangle in yoga. Keep this leg is straight, and this arm is bent. So a lot of students want to do this number. It's not this. The knee's bent. Big stretch. Again, feel that spot here. Big open up, breathe into it. Send out a nice supported easy sound. Ah. Inhale up, exhale over to the other side. Often in class when I say send out a nice easy sound, what I get is ah. That is not a supported sound, and we don't ever want to use our voices that way. We want to go ah. Even if it's a sound that expresses, oh, this feels good. The back of the audience still needs to be able to share it with us, so it's got to be supported. And you want to be on your voice, that means on your breath. So, what you can do now is move around your space with some lip flutters, some. This is always fun. I have frequently been in a situation where I had to speak or wanted to do some kind of vocal warm-up, and the only thing I did was lip flutters. They are an excellent warm-up. So just take as long as you want, moving around your space. You can open up into a vowel. And you know the rest. So just play around with lots of flutters, lots of energy. The lip flutters are an excellent way to wake up your voice because it requires a lot of breath support. So give it that. So breathe, lots of. Now we're just going to throw some vowels across the room. Ball up a piece of paper and find a place where you're going to throw that piece of paper on an E. He, he, ha, ho, who. What we're doing is we're trying to communicate the image vocally that we are using of the object that we're throwing. The key to this game is you always throw with opposite arms, so you're not always using your same arm. When you throw, don't stop, because you just added in a whole bunch of tension. That gripping, that stopping, send all this tension up the arm. So follow through on it, and let the beginning of the movement be from the hips. If we lock down our hip, even if we're just doing this, we have to lock down our hips if we're not going to use them, and we don't want to lock anything. So keep it nice and easy, even throwing a paper airplane. So make yourself an imaginary paper airplane and sail it. He. Hey. Even though it's a small sound, it's still supported. Ha. Ho. Hoo. Good. Check in with the head-spine relationship. Check it out. It makes him sound. Good. Now, how about a tennis ball? Throw it across the room. It's a bigger object, requires a little bit more energy, probably going to have some more vocal energy to it. He, hey, ha, ho, hoo. Good. Now, how about a baseball? If you can see a window, break that glass with a baseball. He, hey, ha, ho, hoo. Good. Shake it out, nice and easy. Do that as long as you want. Throw a rock. It's going to be even bigger. Pick something off the floor and throw it into the ceiling. A big, hey. You get the idea. Just make sure you're not clenching once the object becomes heavier and harder to throw. Still try to keep the ease with it. Okay. Now let's just take some ha. We're going to do a few vowels in very specific spots. So ha is against the hard palate. Imagine, or put your finger, back of the top teeth, the back of them. Put your finger up with that spot where it curves and it becomes gum. That's where we want to send this ha. So ha, 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 ha. Point and send it somewhere. Ha, 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 ha. It can be easy, but it can still be very resonant. That's what we want. We want that sound to ping off the back of that hard palate right there. There's ha and there's he. The he comes down a little bit and ricochets off the teeth. He. That's a good term, ricochet. I never used that before. He. He. Not really sure we want to go into falsetto yet. He. And then there's my. My is spelled M-A-I, but you go to the E. My. And then there's me, be, and we. Just very easy, but very resonant sound. So we're going to go, what are we going to do? Let's just do ha and he. Ha, he, ha, he. And you can keep going with this for as long as you have time to do. Ha, he, ha. And then me, my, me, my, may, be, we. Me, my, may, be, we. Me, my, may, be, we. That my is a diphthong, which means that it's two vowel sounds. It begins with an I and goes to an E. Hi, my. Make sure you get there for both. Now let's go to the articulator. So that's how a vocal warm-up works. You get your alignment going. You get your breath going. You get your vowels warmed up. Now let's go to our consonants. And which is we articulate our consonants. So we're going to go articulators. Standing nice and easy, nice and tall. Whisper a K in and out. One in and out. You're not doing anything here, so it's a good time to check back in with your alignment. Easy head-spine relationship. 3 in, 3 out. 5 in, 5 out. So now we're going to go to PB, TD, and KG. P and B are produced in the very front of the lips. T and D are produced sort of in the middle of the mouth. To make a T and a D, you have to lift your tongue, and it hits the middle of the roof of the mouth. And then K and G are way in the back. P is not voiced. B is. Put your hand on your throat. Go. And so we're doing P, B, T, D, K, G. If you were to write these out, they would be spelled P, B, T, D, K, G, not P, E, E, D, E, E. So it's just. You can do any sort of mixed combination you want of this. You can make it very complicated or very simple. You can do 1. You can do 2. You can stick with one. However you want. Let's just do two each and go back and forth. This does take some breath, so make sure that you're supporting, that you're giving it all you need with your breath. With your breath. So let's go to 3. Make sure, especially on the T and D, you keep your jaw nice and loose. We like to go D, 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 D. Keep the jaw relaxed. A little FSKT, nothing all that, it ain't rocket science to FSKT. This is a really good one to think complete Novocaine phase. So we're going to go to elevators in a moment. We just want to wake up the head voice a little bit, a little. Imagine that sound coming out of the top of the head. Maybe with a little K. Your physiology, everybody's structure is different. Some people may be able to do really high falsettos. Some people can't even access their head voice when they first have a class with me. So do what works best with you. Especially on the falsettos, you can really feel if you're clenching in your throat. And obviously, we don't want to do that. We want lots of breath. So now let's do an elevators. Let's we're going to start at the bottom and go to the top. It's but we're going to do it much slower. A couple things to think about. Pick a vowel. It doesn't matter which one it is. You should try all the vowels and figure out which ones work best for you, which one are more of a challenge. Different points in your range, the vowels might do different things. What we want to do is seamlessly transition from our full voice up into our head voice and then back down again. We want to avoid the we want to avoid that little crack, that sort of break. What's happening is when you're speaking in your full voice, you're using a certain set of muscles that are attached to your vocal cords. And when you get to the head voice, you're using a different set of muscles. That flip is where you're transitioning from one set of muscles to the other. We want to condition our muscles to smoothly transition through that. And that means that it is far, 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 far more effective to go very slow and allow that transition to happen very smoothly than it is to try to force it. When you break, you're reinforcing that disconnect. When you go slow, you're helping to smooth out that bump in a road. I think of it like a speed bump. You're helping to wear that speed bump down the slower you go. So, let's give it a try. Go as slow as you might start going faster, and then when you get towards the break, you realize that you need to slow down. That's great. All right. So big low breath. Check in with your alignment. Low breath, and let's do it on an E to start with, and let's use our fingers to sort of give us a visual, where we are along the way. So start way low in your voice. And then backwards. You may notice it's easier to avoid the break when we're coming down. It's because the reason we break is we're trying to force that full voice sound up higher into our voice. And if we go ahead and start in falsetto, it's easier to come down to it. So that was an E. How about an A? How about a ha? Oh. I don't like O's and Oo's, but some people love them. Oh. Oh. See, I broke a little bit. I went too fast. And an ooh. 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 So that was quite a few. You don't have to do that many every time, but they do help. Elevators are an excellent way to really access all the points in your range. And what's next? Elevator. Okay, now fingers in the mouth. Haha, you're going to love this. What we're going to do, we're going to do it on the text. Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, will weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. That's what we're going to say. Just again. Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, will weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. But we're going to do that with fingers in our mouth. You're going to take 2 fingers, bend them, stick them in your mouth. Don't bite yourself. Don't draw blood. If you start slobbering, you can switch out. If 2 fingers, if your jaw is too tense for 2 fingers, then you can do 1. If you have a cork from a wine bottle, that works very well too. This is actually called cork work. This is like an old school voice teacher thing. Anyway, what it does is it makes you. It really helps your articulation. It helps your breath. It helps everything with the voice. Every time I direct a show and I do a vocal warm-up before each performance, and I don't do this, I am always sorry because I can literally hear the difference. So, what you do not want to do is very hot. You want to go extremely slowly and articulate every single syllable. So let's do it together. Really get your voice out of the gutter. We tend to want to speak really low on our voice in this for some reason. I don't know why. So, whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, will weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. And I did the same thing I always do in class. I forgot to have you do it beforehand. So give me whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot. Join me if you're not. Will whether the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. And just observe, do it again on your own. Observe how easy is it to articulate. How's the breath going? How does it sound? How does it feel? And then do it with fingers a whole bunch and compare the two. So let's do 2 more times with fingers in the mouth. Nice long, low breath. Check in with your alignment. You've got your arm up like this, but don't let that add tension into your shoulders. Keep your shoulders relaxed. So, whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, will whether the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Good. Whack the spit off, switch your fingers, switch your arms. One more time. Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, will whether the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Now try it without fingers and observe how easy it is to be really articulate and get the sound out. A couple things to think about. A word that begins with an H, just one thing to think about. The word that begins with a WH, the first sound you make is a H sound. If words that begin with a W but no H, it's a W. So whether, I have to think about it because I'm not looking at it. Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, will weather the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Okay? So that's that. All right, so we're warm. Now let's go ahead and just observe again. Get yourself back into alignment, feet hip widths apart, toes pointing forward. Check in with that figure 8. Just close the eyes and observe what's different. Is there less tension in the body? Is your breath going lower? Everybody's different. Every day is different. Respect the work that you've done. Love yourself. Okay, we're warm.